Hey there, Timothy Karambat with Rampp.xyz. Wanted to bring y'all a feature that we have been working tirelessly on that is really going to change the way that you allow minting to happen. In fact, if you're already on this video, you probably already know what we're trying to do here, and that is mint with an ERC-20. Now, let's wind it back a little bit and talk about Rampp. So what is Rampp? Well, it's Rampp with two P's, .xyz, and we help you build better communities without code. So if you want to launch a community or a project or you even have a business and you want to be able to launch a membership NFT, Rampp can do all of this for you. We help you with the smart contract, getting your art online, giving you a mint button, and pretty much any kind of insights, analytics, Discord bots, and tools that you would need to help grow that community, because minting it is only the very first step. You got to keep pushing value into your project. That's how you keep it alive, and that's how you grow a really strong brand or community. Now, let's go back to this. ERC-20. So why is it important that people want to mint with ERC-20? With Rampp, we give you an embeddable button you can put anywhere, and that button already accepts paying with ETH, or if you're on Polygon, paying with Matic, or wherever you're at, whatever chain you're on, paying with the native currency. We also provide fiat payments, so someone can pay with a credit card. Perhaps they don't have a wallet yet, or maybe they just don't have the ETH in their wallet at that time. They can pay with a card and have it be airdropped to their wallet. But what's the purpose of ERC-20? So ERC-20 is just tokens, right? A popular token that you probably know of that exists on the Ethereum blockchain is SHIB, or SHIB, or Shiba Inu is the full name, right? They also have Dogecoin, and then more recently, ApeCoin. All three of these tokens are ERC-20 tokens. Now, there are other tokens that are more utilitarian, like wrapped ETH, or otherwise called wETH. So this is basically a tokenized version of Ethereum that you can trade. It is matched 1-to-1 with the price of ETH, or a single ETH. Now, why would you want to have an NFT mint that takes in these arbitrary ERC-20 tokens? Well, just like NFTs, you can build your own ERC-20 token. And actually soon, there will be a way to do that from within Rampp. And it'll be unlike any other ERC-20 token that you've used. It'll function the same, but the method will be different. So why would I want to take these tokens in lieu of payment? Let's just have an example there. So let's say you're building a brand or a community, and you don't have your NFT project ready yet. You're pretty confident that you'll launch one in the future, but for right now, you would really just like to drop a token just to have it to where people can go and claim this token and buy it for some amount of ETH or Polygon or whatever, and then later reward those early adopters with an ERC-20 token that they can then spend now to buy an NFT, which will have the utility and all of the other features that you intend. Because owning tokens is complicated. You can split them into very small fractions, and with an NFT, it's non-divisible. So there's a power in just owning the NFT and simplifying the ownership process in NFTs. But right now, if you hold a bunch of ApeCoin or SHIB or Doge or even wETH, what can you do with it? And there's really not much utility around any of these ERC-20 tokens. People have used them to fundraise and bootstrap companies, but that's not really a good use case because that's really speculative. What we want to do is we want to enable people like you to be able to use these ERC-20 tokens and have them be redeemed for an NFT for your project. So now, and you don't have to own this token, by the way. If I wanted to create a project and use ApeCoin as a payment method, I can just do that. And anyone with ApeCoin will be allowed to mint. And so that's what we're going to actually do today. We're going to actually take in we're going to do this all on testnet, and I have a ERC-20 token I've created. I own the entire supply. It is just a testing token. You can see there are 10,000 and there's only one holder, and that's me. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to charge somebody some Rampp token on testnet to mint. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that and how to do the entire process. So first things first is you would go to Rampp.xyz. And if you have MetaMask, you're already halfway there. Just connect to your project and we can get started. Now, just to have this video not take so long, I already went and set up a project and deployed it on the Rinkeby testnet. Now, you can go through all these features if you like, but ERC-20 payments is a native feature of all Ramp contracts now. So if you went there today, there's no feature to enable ERC-20 payments. You can already do it by default. You don't have to, though. You can just accept native payments if you like. This is just an option that we want to provide you because, frankly, no one else in this space is doing it. So I've already deployed the testnet, so let's just hop to our dashboard and start adding some tokens for payments. Now, one thing that might be useful is if we go to our embed button. Now, we're only on testnet, and we're only going to allow single minting right now. So let's just copy this button, and I actually have a TypeDream website, which is a no-code website builder, allows you to easily spin up a site just for, like very little effort. So we're going to do the normal process of just embedding our button into TypeDream, just so you can see what the current functionality looks like. So we're going to insert some code, and let me shrink this. And then we want to publish the site. And eventually this button will pop up. We just need to wait for it. But if we go to the website, let's see if it's live yet. It takes a second to update. So you'll see there's our button and there's our image. Our button's just kind of like floating out there in the ether. We haven't done much styling yet, but that's a totally different YouTube tutorial. So if we click this mint button, it's going to prompt us to connect to the site, which we'll do. And I'm using Rinkeby ETH. It's all monopoly money. It's not real ETH. And we're going to connect to the site, and you see that we have a mint fee of 0.01 ETH right now. Now, I'm going to click reject, and you'll notice that there was no option for me to ever pay with an alternative currency. If I was using our winter integration, there would be a pay with card button below this mint button, but we don't even have that enabled yet. So let's go back to our dashboard and start adding some tokens. So you'll see right here, there's a new item now for all contracts that support this. It will take your native payment, which you will always be able to accept, then USD. This is the pay with card method. If you wanted to enable this for your project, you would just click on this button, and then you would apply for winter by filling out these details. It's pretty much, we just need a contact email and a display image that will show on your project. We don't have either of those right now, but that's all the process would take. And then you get approved by winter, and once you're approved, you can have your community pay with card. Of course, always try this on testnet and then go to mainnet. But yeah, so these two methods automatically default, like anybody can use them. These new methods, however, are going to be specific to your project. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an ERC-20 token as a payment. Now, how does this work? Like, who gets paid? Where do the tokens go? If it's my creator token, like, does Ramp get a share of that? No. The way that this whole feature works is you actually will receive a 100% payout of the tokens. So if you collect 10,000 ApeCoin on your contract, you will get all 10,000 ApeCoin. Ramp will not take any of your ERC-20 tokens. The way that Ramp actually makes itself useful on this process is we charge a 0.001 fee per transaction. So if your NFT costs 500 ApeCoin, the person buying it with that 500 ApeCoin will only be paying a very, very small 0.001 native currency on that. That applies for all networks. The fee does not change per network. So you can see that this is a highly convenient feature to have that really costs you nothing, actually, and costs the user almost nothing. But the way to get started is, because we're on Rinkeby, there are no token suggestions here. Typically, you would have suggestions like accepting wrapped DAI token or ApeCoin, as I just mentioned, or SHIB, whatever you want. There would be some suggestions up here, but because we're on Rinkeby, there's actually a contract for Rinkeby on Ethereum, and this is the contract address. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add two payment methods to this. So first thing is I want to grab the contract address from the URL, or I can copy it from there. And we want to go paste that in. And then how much wrapped ETH do we want to charge? So if we go into my MetaMask, actually, just so we can get an idea, I have 13.998 wrapped ETH. This is the same token that this contract issues. So I know that I have some, so let's just charge like 0.5. We'll charge a half wrapped ETH, which is actually quite expensive. So, you know, it's just like this could be any arbitrary token. You know, if anything, let's do 0.002 because our mint fee is 0.001 and we want to incentivize people to pay with the token because it's cheaper. If you have a token image, you can actually paste it in right here. We don't have a token image for wrapped ETH. We could go and grab one from like CoinGecko or something and just paste it in there. But that's not, you know, that's very, well, you know, I mean, I guess we could add it. Nah. We'll do it for another token. So you'll see we clicked validate, it validated, and now it's saying add wETH as a payment method. So we're going to click this, and it's going to prompt you for a MetaMask transaction. Because what we want you to be able to do with your contracts is be able to accept only the tokens that you want. Someone shouldn't be able to just make an ERC-20 token and just buy your NFT with it, because what if it's a token that you don't want? What if it's not a token that's relevant to your community? That is what this is solving. So you're going to be able to basically set up filters for, I want this amount of this specific token per NFT. And that's our first payment method set up. And then for Ramp, we are going to want to we want to accept this Ramp token, which actually has, you know, just like any arbitrary value to me. These are tokens of early supporters of Ramp, let's just say, in this imaginary situation. So for here, I would go paste in my contract address. And let's just say, because these are creator tokens, like these are just totally community tokens, we're going to charge 200 per NFT because they don't really have a USD value, right? They're just social tokens. And for our image, let's see, if we go to Twitter, let's just grab our logo and see what that looks like. We're going to copy the image, copy image address. And this is going to be basically, this is just like for show. When we validate token, we're going to add Ramp as a payment method. And again, approving a transaction because we are telling our contract, hey, if anyone wants to pay with this, it is allowed, and this is how much it costs per NFT. So we're adding Ramp as a payment to the contract, and once this transaction settles, it's live. Okay, so now you'll see that we have a little icon next to our token. Now, what if you want to update them? Well, to update these payment options, which you can have up to 2 ERC-20 tokens at this time, you would just click on the token and you'll see what contract it is tied to, and then the cost per NFT, which you can change at any time, and then updating the logo with whatever you want, which I guess we can just go to CoinGecko and go to wETH. And then let's just like, you know, let's copy that image address and we'll go into here and we'll click save. Okay, and you'll see that save worked, and now we have a logo for our wETH. This is really, at this time, just for you. It's just like a nicety to have. And if we click on the Ramp testing token, we have the contract address, how much we're charging, and the logo. Where did the name and the symbol come from? Those are already actually a part of the ERC-20 standard. That's where we get them from. So you can't try and like make a contract with a different name of a popular token, right? Like you want your users to trust that the token that they are approving for sale is the token that they already own. So we have 2 payment methods. If we wanted to, let's just say remove wrapped ETH, you can see that what we're charging for it. You just click on this little X that pops up when you hover over the item, and it will say that it will remove this option and it will no longer be valid when people try to mint. If you click OK, it will prompt on MetaMask to do the same thing as what we were doing when we added tokens. You're going to now set that token as we no longer accept this token as payment. So that's just a really beneficial way for you to keep a really tight control on what payment methods you will accept. Now, there is this general mint status, and then there is this ERC-20 minting only. So let's say you want to do a drop to where only holders of your token or another token can mint. You would enable this switch, and now public minting will be closed, and only people with your token are going to be able to buy your NFT. So that's just another little added benefit to have on top of this, and this whole payment flow does support allow lists. So don't worry about having an allow list that also charges a social token. Any kind of combination that you could want for your mint is possible with Ramp. Now, one thing that we might want to just check on before is this withdrawal page. So the withdraw page is empty right now. There's nothing here. Once we receive ERC-20 payments and our contract has a balance of a token that we've approved, you're actually going to be able to withdraw that token balance. Doing that will send the creator of this contract, which you can modify at any time, the payout address of this contract, all of the ERC-20 tokens that was received at the time that you clicked withdraw. So let's just go to our embed button, because we have to actually update our embed button now, because now we have added some new properties. So let's go to TypeDream, and let's go to here, and let's replace our embed code, because now we are taking payments in ERC-20. You'll see that we have a mint button, then we have a wrapped Ether button, and then we have the Ramp testing token button. And we didn't do anything. All we did was just copy paste the embed. So let's experiment with what this looks like. So I own, and I can prove this, the entire supply of the Ramp testing token. And the way to add an arbitrary token in MetaMask is you go to Assets, Import Tokens, paste in the contract address. You'll see it pulls in my symbol and the token decimal, and I own all 10,000 Ramp. So this is just a good way to keep accounting for this demo, but also if you have a social token that isn't like a majorly listed token, you'll want to track it within MetaMask, obviously, so you can keep an eye on it. So first things first is let's refresh the page and see if our new button is live. Yeah, our new button is live. Now, you can style this however you like. This is unstyled right now, and you'll be able to, hop in with some CSS and just do anything you want to this button. But let's see what each function does. So when you click on the very top button, that is your native mint. So this is going for us to be paying in native ETH, and our mint fee, as we saw before, is still 0.01. Now we can go and mint with this, and let's do that. Let's just do a regular paying with ETH mint. If we were on Polygon, we'd be paying with Matic. One thing to note is that the ERC-20 token that you add to your contract obviously has to be on the same chain as your contract. So you can't charge people a Polygon token when you have a Ethereum contract, right? Because how else would you ever transfer the funds? So that is one thing to keep in mind right now. If you want to, for example, Cool Cats has a milk token. If you want to charge milk, your NFT contract should also be on Polygon. Just a detail to know. And the Ramp UI would tell you that is the problem with that token if it's on a different chain or something like that. So next is minting with wrapped Ether. So as we can see in my MetaMask, I have 13.998 wrapped Ether. So if I go to click this, it's going to now do two things. So in order for someone to use an ERC-20 payment, you have to have permission from the owner of the token to be able to send it to the contract. For the contract essentially to be able to be like, yes, I will transfer your tokens for you. Now, this has been the subject of much debate to where people have been setting approve all for ERC-20 tokens. That is very dangerous. And with Ramp, we only approve the amount that is required for that payment. If your allowance is already really high, then great, we won't ask you to approve anything. But if you have no allowance, as in you don't allow the contract or you haven't allowed the contract to move any amount of ERC-20 for you yet, it will then prompt the user for this first transaction. And you can see our fee for wETH is 0.002. So I have to confirm that I want this contract to be able to move tokens on my behalf. Now, I only want them to move 0.002, and once that quantity is moved, the contract should not be able to move any more of my tokens, and that is exactly what's going to happen. So now you can see this transaction is charging a mint fee of 0.001. This is that little tiny surcharge that is added to facilitate the ERC-20 transaction. So when we click this, we'll click confirm. And what we should see on Etherscan, and what we will see on the contract that we are messing with, is we will now see a total ETH balance of 0.011 because we minted with ETH for 0.01, and then we minted again with ERC-20 ERC-20 using wETH. So now our contract should even have a wETH balance in addition to its native ETH balance. And a way to check that maybe sound very confusing. If we go to our contract on Etherscan, if you want to look at it this way, you can see our entire balance is that surcharge plus that 0.01 that we initially minted from this mint2. And then we call this mint2 multiple ERC-20. And if we go to our contract, you can see that our contract now has a balance of 0.002. That's exactly what we wanted. And if we click on this transaction, just to double verify, you can see that a transfer from the buyer to the contract of 0.002 for wrapped Ethereum. And then we, of course, sent them an NFT in exchange because that's what the deal was. If you wanted to go and look at your balances, you can go to withdraw. And you will now see that you can withdraw 0.002 wETH. When you click this, it will then withdraw all of those ERC-20s from your contract, and you will receive them. Let's go check out the other button now. Ramp testing token. We are charging 200 Ramp tokens per NFT. So if we click this, it should ask us to approve 200 tokens. Then we should pay the small surcharge fee. And what we should see happen is our contract now will own 200 Ramp tokens. So let's make sure that that happens. So we're going to approve the 200 Ramp. And then afterwards, we're going to be prompted with a new transaction. And that will be the actual minting transaction. And if we were to, for example, like cancel out of the, just in case, if someone wants to cancel. So let's say we reject the mint. I already paid to approve my 200. So I actually have an allowance right now. If I click on this button again, you don't have to pay that fee again, the allowance fee. You'll actually skip that step and go straight to mint. So there's our surcharge fee, and we're going to click confirm. And then we'll wait for this mint to complete. And we could have it to where, when you complete mint, you get redirected to a new URL that's like, hey, thanks for minting. Or maybe it goes to the OpenSea collection. You could have something like that. That's part of the mint buttons as well. So we have a transaction. Let's go check it out. Let me close this tab. So we're waiting for this to balance. Let's go. This is the token. Let's go to the contract while we're waiting for it. Oh, there we go. Okay, never mind. It loaded. So you can see that the tokens transferred from the buyer to the contract, we sent them 200 Ramp tokens. And then, of course, for payment, we received an ERC-20. And then we paid a very, very small fee, and that fee also landed on the contract. So we're going to click on that, land on the contract. Now we have 0.0012 because we just took another 0.001 fee. And if we go to our token balances, we now have 200 Ramp token and 0.02 wrapped Ethereum. Now let's go look at my token balances and make sure that that happened. This is what would happen to the user's balance. You can see that my balance went down by 200 Ramp tokens and 0.002 wrapped Ethereum. Now, this address that I'm using also happens to be the primary ERC-20 payout address. So if I go and withdraw all 200 Ramp tokens, my balance should return to 10,000 because I'm the payout also. Now, ideally, right, your payout address might be some other wallet, right? It might just be a treasury. Maybe you're collecting your social tokens to burn them later. Maybe you're going to issue them out in a giveaway. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Let's refresh this page because we now have a 200 Ramp balance. So there's our 200 Ramp balance. Let's go ahead and withdraw it. This will prompt for a transaction. And we'll click confirm. Now, one thing to note is why does the balance say 0.001 here, but on our contract says 0.0012? And that is because as the creator, you are 100% owed anybody who mints with ERC-20, that token, and also minting with native currency. You're owed that money, and we give you that money. But the tiny surcharge that's applied, that 0.001 for only ERC-20 tokens, is not subject for revenue sharing with you. So that money just goes straight to Ramp and it helps us keep the lights on. That's all that is. And again, that is per transaction. So if I were to send, like I did, 200 tokens, it is not that fee times 200. It is just that one fee. That's it. That is the settlement transaction fee. Now, if we go back to our contract, and we probably need to refresh, you'll see our Ramp tokens are now missing, but we called this function withdraw ERC-20, and you'll see that 200 tokens went back to whoever the recipient was on the contract, which again, you can change to any address you like as the owner of the contract. And you'll see I have 10,000 Ramp again. So I kind of just, as the owner of this contract, was able to test my own flow of being able to go and buy with an ERC-20. Now, keep in mind, you can literally do this with any ERC-20 token. And soon we're going to actually have an ability for you to go and make your own so that you can actually just do everything within Ramp. But for right now, if you need an ERC-20 token, we can help you get that online. It's really quite simple. And additionally, any ERC-20 token out there that you would like to accept as payment on your contract is fair game. And you can do that. And it's all possible with a simple embed button, and it handles everything. So that is minting with ERC-20. This works on all 5 chains that we support. And of course, the world is now your oyster. Go ahead and do what you want. It's really surprising that people haven't facilitated this before, but ERC-20 is not that much different from NFTs, and there's no reason why you shouldn't have the ability to have all of the tools at your disposal. And when you use Ramp, you can. Thank you. Have a great day.